watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe. You can donate by Western Union Buddy Grab. So, let me get this straight. Tyson Fury can face Ngannou, and nobody has a problem with that. But Mayweather facing Conor McGregor was a big issue, right? Is this me, or is this racism in boxing? Now, I love Tyson Fury as a boxer. You know, I don't really see any heavyweight out there beating him. But what I don't understand, help me understand, is Fury versus Ngannou going to be an exhibition or something? Or is this going to be a pro fight, a crossover pro fight? And if it is, why is everybody not up in arms like Mayweather versus McGregor? And this doesn't count on Tyson Fury's resume and stuff like that. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you people, because I saw ESPN and they were like cool with it and just going with the flow and whatever. I'm going to say this. You got to keep the same energy. If you're criticizing Floyd Mayweather saying, oh, this dude, he's destroying boxing, blah, 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 then keep the same energy with Tyson Fury. But if you have said, Mayweather versus McGregor sounds like a good fight, as a boxing fan, we know how it goes, then you can keep the same energy with Tyson Fury and then Ngannou, which we know Fury's going to win that fight. But, you know, Ngannou, he gets paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this to say, I remember Oscar De La Hoya also was going to do a pro fight with a MMA fighter as well. Nobody was making an issue with that. I wanted to say this. We need to stop being hypocritical about fighters. If you don't like a fighter, so be it. But don't pretend like this fighter is doing all these harm to boxing and so on when he's opening the door for matchups like these. Okay? You know, a lot of people went in on Jake Paul and on Logan Paul when Jake and Logan put themselves in a position to do what they were doing. Because nobody has ever seen that before, nobody ever seen this approach before, they were mad at it. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of you guys are not resistant to change. You don't have, you're not, you're very resistant to change, sorry. You're not willing to see things differently. You're entrenched in your ways. You wait for an established order of some kind to validate before you can step out and think for yourself. A lot of y'all don't think for yourselves. So, quite frankly, I was in a boxing group on Facebook, and a gentleman declared that Tyson Fury would beat Muhammad Ali, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, you know, Evander Holyfield, you know, and many of the, Mike Tyson, many of the other greats. And a whole bunch of old cronies was like, yo, you crazy, you this, you that. And I'm looking at the dude like, I'm looking at these people like, he's not crazy. You think about what Tyson Fury brings to the table. There's never been a fighter like him. Ever. He's quick like a middleweight. He can fight southpaw stance or orthodox stance. He's smart and a defensive fighter. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. He can fight at mid-range. He's got power to knock you out if he needs to use it, or he can outbox you for 12 rounds. That's Tyson Fury. Quick, sharp. So, It's not a far stretch for somebody to say that he would beat all the past greats. Whether that would happen or not is not the question, but it's not a far stretch. The person's not crazy for saying that. And so these are the kinds of things we have to deal with, where people have dogma entrenched in their minds that this fighter and this fighter and this fighter, they're the greatest or whatever. When in truth, they have no respect for their own present era. If you're existing in a present era and you can't recognize how good fighters in your present era are, then we're wasting time talking about boxing because you're locked up in the past. The present has nothing for you. Tyson Fury is a remarkable boxer and probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, if he's not the greatest. Even though his accomplishments still have not measured up to some other fighters, accomplishments-wise, what he brings to the table, his skill set, his abilities, his smarts, his IQ, the trainer he has, is quite a lot. For a guy 6'9", with a reach of 80-something inch reach. I mean, he uses every single skill set and capability. And he also could fight dirty as well. Bend the Marcus Queensberry rules. I mean, this guy can do a lot. So it's not surprising when somebody acknowledges that and says, man, this dude would beat everybody in history. It's possible, and it's possibly true. We'll see how he does in the remaining fights, but I forgot. He also got dropped 2 times by one of the hardest punchers of our era, Deontay Wilder, and he got up from them. All I'm saying is, there's a lot of evidence to support the fact that this dude would beat all those heavyweights. I'm not saying that he would, but I'm just saying there's evidence for that. I am what you need. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.